Yo, what's happening, baby? This is the Flaming Sword Musing, and I'm Kamsin Khan. Yo, I'm talking about sports right now, but what I'm speaking about as far as sports go is something that really has been disturbing me for the past like 2, 3 years, maybe 2 years. It's been disturbing me how people are playing everything for the lit game. The people are trading off their crafts for their legacy in life, what they stake themselves on, what they've been doing since they was kids. They just trading it off. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I'm talking about, like, let's just say the Brooklyn Nets. They acquired 3 players who were considered to be all-stars, but when they got to, all of them got to that team under questionable circumstances. You know what I mean? Like, all of them got to that team under dubious circumstances. And that stuff goes back further, but, so we start with Kyrie. Kyrie was with the Cavaliers. He got drafted by the Cavaliers after LeBron James left. So, my view on that is that, people really weren't expecting the Cavaliers to achieve nothing or succeed or anything. So, a halfway passable / decent player besides LeBron James, who can give a couple of highlights, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Kyrie was in his zone. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, he was able to spend 3 losing seasons. I mean, at the bottom of the at the bottom of the standings. He got Rookie of the Year. He didn't play that full season. He got injuries, thumb, all kind of little things was going on, but he was able to play for a losing team and be considered the best player on that losing team. So when his contract was up, he was automatically eligible for like a big pay jump. This is something that, like, the NBA Players Union and all of that stuff, they made certain agreements and certain tiers of payment, franchising and all of that stuff, So when Kyrie's rookie contract was up, he was only averaging 20 points a game for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But he had reputation and hype, and I feel like the reputation and hype was just based off of the fact that he was playing for a bad team and he had the ball, Of course you're going to have dope handles if the ball is in your hand all the time. And all the highlights are, only person on the team getting highlights. Nigga, LeBron just left. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. They didn't care. Cleveland didn't care. So he was able to just coast and play for a bad team. And then when it was time for him to get his upgrade on his contract, he just took it like, oh yeah, I'm a franchise player. So he took the franchise player tag, even though he was not he was not the franchise player for Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers did not have a franchise player. You know why Cleveland Cavaliers didn't have a franchise player? Cleveland Cavaliers didn't have a franchise player because they were at the bottom of the standings. But according to the agreement made with the NBA and the Players Union, he was automatically eligible for franchise player tag. So he signed the franchise player tag. Okay, cool. LeBron come back to the team and he get disgruntled. You know why he got disgruntled? Because he spent 3-4 years playing for a team that couldn't get from the bottom of the standings. And then LeBron James came. And LeBron James' first year, they was in the finals. You know what I'm saying? So Kyrie couldn't just be that dude with the dope handles no more. He had to come to show up every game. He had to go to every practice. He had to do a lot more because he was playing on the championship team all of a sudden. Just like, instantaneously, he was on the championship team. So when he was on the championship team with LeBron James, just imagine this. He gets mad because, when I signed the contract for the franchise player tag that I didn't deserve, they told me that I was going to be leading the team. And I'm mad that LeBron James came back home to Cleveland and assumed the lead of the team, even though I had the franchise player contract. That was the issue pretty much. He didn't like the fact that his role changed. His role went from being a dude with dope handles to the point guard of a championship team. So everything fall apart. I thought, okay, cool. Kevin Durant, by far my favorite player to watch play. I don't think he's the best player in the league. That's been LeBron forever. But he's by far my best player, favorite player to just watch play. And that's the problem. I haven't been able to watch him play for years. I haven't watched Kevin Durant play a full season since when? I don't know. The past 3 years, he hasn't played a full season yet. He missed a full season, then missed half the season, then played half of last season, and then missed the other half. It came to the playoffs just in time. And everybody keeps saying, like, yo, this is the best player in the league. And, skill set wise and loving the way he played, I can say, yeah, he is my favorite player, but I never thought he was the best. There was always somebody better than him. There was always a year. Most of them years it was LeBron, but there was always a year where even though he was considered to be my favorite player, there was always somebody better. I would say LeBron, Steph Curry. It was either one of them two. There was always somebody better. But now we got these two players, and they posted up talking about they want to get traded. They held the Brooklyn Nets hostage for 3 years. These dudes been with the Brooklyn Nets 3 years. Give them no significant. Man, these dudes are the dudes like the Harden jerseys, the Kyrie jerseys, the Durant jerseys, the shoes. All of them had shoe deals. You know what I mean? So you got the jersey, paraphernalia, marketing, imaging deals, commercials, endorsements. You got shoe deals. Each one of them, like every year that these guys were on the bench, Kyrie, KD, from the Nets, Harden, they put out shoes every year. Expensive shoes. But they weren't playing. Like 9 times out of 10, especially with Kyrie, shit, if he wasn't playing in New York, he wasn't playing. That's what the team told him, just stay home. Don't even come with us. But the thing about KD is that, I think Kyrie doesn't have the worth that everybody has been saying. He's never impressed me. And when he got his chance to be a superstar, he balked at it because he was on the team with a superstar and he just didn't want that responsibility. He didn't want to step his game up. He wanted to go to another team and just be Kyrie. He ended up on another team with championship prospects. I don't want to be on this team. He ended up on another team with championship prospects. I only want to play half a season. I'm not convinced about Kyrie. I'm very whatever. KD, I just think that he's too expensive for anybody. I think he could probably go back to OKC and recreate the LeBron scenario, because OKC got 4 draft picks this year. So I think that, Kevin Durant can probably go back to OKC and replay out the LeBron James scenario, but ultimately he's just too expensive, especially with Rudy Gobert coming in and demanding the trade. The bodies that had to move Rudy Gobert. And people say, oh, like, oh man, I even think that like, oh, KD, like the Nets, they looking for a bonanza just because of Rudy Gobert. But Rudy Gobert ain't nothing to slouch at for one. He ain't got no offensive repertoire to speak of, but he can influence. He kept his team in the playoffs. He played all year. Well, not all year, but he played much more. He kept his teams in the playoff hunt picture. Defensive player of the year multiple years. Like, he was there. He was actually playing. So I can't say, that, oh, Rudy Gobert doesn't, warrant all them bodies moving just to get him. So if all those bodies move, well, KD, no, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I don't accept it due to the simple fact, it's been so many players. Like, they haven't been playing. All of our marquee players are dudes whose jerseys been serving. Whose jerseys been selling, whose shoes been selling, who pictures be put up on the network advertisements to make people want to watch. They haven't been playing. And it's been like a whole nother grade of players who've been playing on a very impressive rate who has not been getting their flowers because everybody want to give Kevin Durant his flowers. But I can't, even though Kevin Durant is my favorite player to watch so far, I can't give him his flowers because I haven't been able to watch him play. I can't give him top 75. I can't give him top 10. I can't give him those things, even though he's my favorite player to watch play, because I just quite simply haven't been able to watch him play. And the thing about it with me is that it's like, okay, cool. So if we could sit up here and just roam off of our names and not actually play the game, because there's been a few seasons where, especially like, I'm going to keep it 1,000. I'm a 100% thoroughbred Milwaukee Bucks fan, Giannis world champions, all that good shit, you know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers be talking shit about like, oh, well, if wouldn't have happened, then the Bucks wouldn't have won. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Because the Bucks played all season. Giannis played all season. Middleton played all season. They didn't just take it for granted that, oh, we got this player, that player, then that player, so we can just rest these players, and then when the playoffs kick in, we just gonna run for the playoffs. That wasn't no cheat for the Bucks. The Bucks did exactly what the fuck they were supposed to do. They beat the cheat. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers put teams together like that and think they can't play through the regular season, just make the playoffs, and oh, we got a title coming. That's a cheat. So the Bucks actually beat the cheat. Every team that beat the LA Clippers, they beat the cheat. Zion Williamson, they still trying to sell him. This man only played like half a season. They still trying to sell him. They got him throwing the ball in the air and doing 720s and poking. And my issue with that is that if that's what y'all trying to sell, that's the problem. So we could just do a couple, like last year at the end of the motherfucking season, Zion Wilson put a motherfucking post up of him doing a few dunks, say he ready to play, and all of a sudden it's all kind of viral internet activity. That's the game. Right now, as far as people are concerned, like the players, even in the music game, like, it's not about the quality of your output, it's about going viral. So if I can go viral and get enough people to look up on YouTube or whatever platforms that, show this shit, and ESPN can get they 2.8 million hits for the month or for the year for some particular footage or some content, man, they did their job. They don't give a fuck. They don't care if Zion Williamson actually plays another season because they got the footage already. That footage can play for the next 10 years and they're going to get paid for it, whether Zion plays another season or not. And it's the same thing with Kevin Durant. It's the same thing with Ben Simmons. It's the same thing with James Harden, all the Kawhi Leonard, George, all of these guys who are playing these games with the minute managing. You know, it's the same game with all of that. So I just, look at it like, oh, okay, cool. So motherfuckers feel like they can just sign an NBA contract or any kind of contract, music. I see it in like small ways in my small little world. I'm not dealing with like multi-million-dollar transactions and moves or nothing like that. But, I see it in my little world where people it's starting to become like a mentality understanding or a concept of business dealing with people that people don't have to honor the deals that they make. Like, I don't have to honor that deal. I got the deal. The fact that I got the deal says that I'm valuable. So now I'm just gonna sit back and figure out ways to not do what I agreed to do. It's all game, though. They did it to us, we do it to them. But it's so marked and so open and so stark that it doesn't have the same, it doesn't hit the same. It's like, man, I feel like a lot of people are being trained to not honor nothing that they hear. There's no such thing as honor. You can make an agreement today and break it tomorrow. And it's really starting to be disturbing. But in that world, we talking about real big money. But a lot of the people who are watching the things going on between these big money entities, they don't have that same big money. So the only thing that they walk away with is the understanding. They're not walking away with the $200 million contracts. They're not walking away saying, oh yeah, I was able to bully this team into trading me to this other team, and all these, they're walking away with just simply the understanding that I don't have to honor the agreements that I make. I'm seeing it a lot in the music industry. I'm seeing it a lot on the streets. Like, nobody feels like they have to honor anything, and it's really starting to bother me. And I would really like people to start thinking about that anymore, because you don't have anything but your word. If you agree to play such and such amount of games for such and such amount of money, you can't say, well, you know what, I'm just going to play half the season, or I'm not going to play the season because the money's guaranteed. So it's a lick. Everything just becomes a lick, and nobody has a craft, nobody has honor, and the game doesn't move forward for us. My name is Kamsi Khan. Hopefully you got some understanding out of this. Be blessings and be blessed. One.